Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for joining. My name is Nicole. I make videos sharing my faith, family, and lifestyle. I'm actually currently pregnant and I will be 25 weeks tomorrow. And I don't even know how to start this video. Basically, this video was supposed to be very, very different. It was supposed to be a vlog style video of this past weekend because I had a lot of exciting things going on, but everything changed. I ended up going to the emergency room this weekend and obviously did not get to vlog the way I wanted, which is totally fine. So I figured instead I would do a sit down kind of like story time video explaining what happened at my ultrasound, because I did update you guys on Instagram and let you know, and I promised you guys I would share the entire story in a YouTube video. So as I mentioned, Friday was my birthday, June 25th. That's my favorite day of the year. I sound ridiculous, but I really do love celebrating my birthday, and every year on my birthday, it's always sunny. It's always beautiful outside and warm and perfect. And like this time, I woke up to cloudy skies and rain, and I should have known right away something is gonna be way off today because this never happens on my birthday. At least as far as I can remember in my 31 years of life. Yes, I've turned 31. Okay, and like it's fine. It's still gonna be a great day. Everything's good. Richie called me and he was like, hey, I want to order you breakfast, because he was already at work. You know, what do you guys want? I'll have it sent to the house. So basically was like, ooh, I want a Panera souffle with a coffee, and me and Jace were at home and we had breakfast together. Also keep in mind, before this anatomy scan, basically they give you instructions that 90 minutes before your appointment, you have 30 minutes to drink 32 ounces of water, okay? So at 8:30 a.m., I'm like, okay, I'm gonna drink this 32 ounces of water, in addition to eating my souffle and drinking my coffee. So within that 30 minutes, I like ate all of that, okay? I think that's important to know for later in the story. Okay, so my mom ends up coming over so that she can stay with Jace while I go run to this appointment. It was supposed to be really quick, only 10 minutes away, you know, get it done and come back home. And then Richie and I had plans later that evening. So I didn't have my vlogging camera with me. I just had my phone, and I was like, oh, I'll take a few clips, like, you know, on the way to the appointment. I'm gonna try to vlog while I'm there. Sometimes they let you film or whatever. So I'm kind of trying to get some footage here and there. So once I get there, I'm with the ultrasound tech, and I just, you know, lay down on the bed as per usual. They're putting jelly on my belly, and I'm just like excited to see baby girl again. Like I said, it's been a while. So she starts taking the measurements and is like looking at the computer and doing her thing, and it's kind of taking a while. And maybe after about like 5 to 7 minutes, I start to feel kind of nauseous and not really good. So if you're pregnant, you probably know that when you're laying flat on your back, basically there is a vein in the back, a main vein. If you're flat on your back for too long, it starts to kind of cut off blood flow to your heart. So that's why it kind of hurts to be on your back. It's better to turn on your side. So I started to feel a little bit nauseous, a little bit dizzy. I knew it was because of that. Also, the bed was not positioned upwards as it should have been, slightly up. It was literally flat. So I said, hey, I'm gonna turn to my side. I really need to change positions because I'm starting to feel a little sick. Now, I already had a previous experience with this because when I was pregnant with Jace, this similar thing happened at the anatomy scan because you're on your back for so long. And Richie was with me at the time, and I remember like complaining like, oh, I really don't feel good. I really need to change positions. And like the tech let me change positions. And then I kind of had a hard time through the rest of that ultrasound too, but I made it through just fine and everything turned out fine. But this time it was like that to the extreme. So I turned on my side. She's continuing to go and kind of like get all the measurements. I started to feel even worse. Lightheaded, dizzy, nauseous, hot, having trouble breathing. So I literally just said, I need to get up for a minute, and I need to just breathe and walk around for a minute. So I get up off of the bed. At this point, my phone actually was filming because I was filming like her, you know, on my belly, showing the jelly. I'm just trying to get a little bit of footage for the vlog. I had set my phone down on the bed. It was actually still recording, okay? So I have footage to show you guys of basically what happened next. But I get up and I'm starting to feel so hot and like it's so hard to breathe that I had to take off my mask, and I'm like leaning on the bed kind of like this. to just like stabilize myself and trying to take deep breaths. And I'm feeling like hotter and dizzier by the second. And that was basically the last thing I remember. And then I fell over onto the floor and fainted. So you'll see in this footage, basically kind of just see the top of my head. I had a black hat on, and I toppled over, and then you see the tech trying to sort of like catch my arm. She said she kind of caught my arm a little bit and helped me so that I didn't hit my head on the ground when I fell.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh boy.
So I at that point I blacked out. I think I was on the ground for about like 30 seconds to a minute. And obviously I was blacked out. I don't remember anything. The next thing I remember is just feeling like I was in a really, really deep sleep. Like it just felt like I was waking up out of a really deep sleep. And I opened my eyes. Well, apparently they were already opened because the tech told me that when I had fainted, my eyes were open the whole time and that I was like wheezing or like snorting. And actually in the video, you can kind of hear me just wheezing on the ground.
It's okay. Yeah, this is not good. She started feeling like having a vasal reaction. It's okay. Hey, you get on your side? Turn on your side on. Stay with me. Stay with me.
It's kind of weird to think about, but that's how she described it. So when I came to, I see her. I didn't recognize her at all. She had went to grab help. So there's like 5 people around me just looking at me. I had no idea where I was or who anybody was or what was going on. It took me like a minute to even register where I was or what was going on because I had completely forgotten that I came to an appointment. So I'm sitting there and then I'm like, slowly it's all coming back to me. And then I woke up and I'm just like, oh my God, oh my God.
Okay. Oh my God. Okay, slow down. It's okay. She just. Okay, one of the nurses here. Hi. She just.
Felt dizzy.
So she's wanted to stand up, then she sat down, and then she just kind of slumped over. She didn't hit her head or anything, but then she was out of it, and then she just realized where she is. Just watch her head.
Here, hold on, Darren. Hold on.
And then I just started bawling. Like I just started crying because I realized like, oh my gosh, I just fainted. Oh my gosh, is my baby okay? Am I okay? Like what's going on? Why did this happen? And I'm kind of starting to panic.
It's okay. It's okay. You okay? You just scared? Do you hurt anywhere? Your body doesn't hurt? Oh, she's cold. She's, just there first. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. You're probably just basal. Has this happened to you before? No. Okay. Try to relax. Does your back hurt? No? No. Did she fall or you caught her falling?
I caught her. Okay, so I caught her arm, so she just slumped down to the floor. But she was out of it. I mean, her face was just like, she didn't recognize me. Then all of a sudden she came to.
Yeah. Yeah. You need to call 911.
Okay.
Just 911. Yeah. So we're gonna call the ambulance just because I think you need blood work just to make sure everything's fine. It's probably normal because you're pregnant. Okay, but we have to make sure. Okay. You were feeling fine this morning?
Yeah, it was just I was laying on my back and
you probably were compressed. No, it's okay. It's okay. Here, let's get you up off this hard floor.
One of the people that was there just started to ask me questions like, do you know your name? Do you know where you are? And everything was taking me like a few seconds to answer. It was like I could not think very quickly. So I was trying to answer their questions.
Do you have any belly pain?
No?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that way they can check your baby out in the ER and all that, okay? Who's your OB doctor?
it's kind of hard to think about.
Okay. Is it through us?
It's
And then the tech told me like, okay, you fainted, you fell, you know, come sit here, come sit down. They gave me some water, or they gave me juice. I was like still just crying because I was so scared and didn't know what was happening. And then they're like, we're gonna go ahead and call an ambulance. So
No.
So literally after a few minutes, the paramedics arrived. They basically were like, okay, we're gonna take you to the hospital. So they're taking me on the dolly, they're starting to wheel me out. And then I go, oh my gosh, I'm gonna throw up. I need to throw up, I need to throw up. I started to feel so nauseous. Remember what I ate that morning for breakfast? I threw up 7 times. 7 times on my way, getting wheeled on the dolly to the ambulance. They didn't have any buckets to give me. They literally were handing me towels. I was throwing up in towels and it was like going all over me. So this is like a really gross story, but this is just really what happened. And I'm explaining it all because I've never felt so miserable. Like I've never felt so like mortified and just like humiliated at what was happening. Like I couldn't believe what was happening. I was like, I'm sitting here throwing up all over myself, crying. There's tears running down my face and I feel awful and I just hope my baby's okay and it's my birthday. Like I can't believe this is all happening. Like I just couldn't believe it was all happening. So I basically emptied out my system. There was like nothing left to throw up. I threw it all up. I was a mess. I smelled like, it was really, it was scary. And it was just sad, like, and strange. Like, it was all very weird. So once I get inside the ambulance, they started to ask me some more questions. And then I had like texted Richie and I was like, hey, I'm on my way to the hospital. I fainted during my ultrasound. So he's like, okay, I'll meet you there. At that point in the ambulance, I was still feeling really, really nauseous. And I told them like, I'm still feeling nauseous. So they gave me an IV and they were giving me something to help with the nausea, which it didn't really help, to be honest, because I get car sick all the time anyway, so being in the back of an ambulance was like, I was nauseous anyway. Once we got to the emergency room, they got me like admitted in and then they transferred me actually to the, I guess it was like the labor and delivery part of the hospital because they wanted to monitor the baby first off and make sure that everything was okay, that she wasn't affected, and then they were gonna do some tests on me. So eventually I got like changed out of my soiled clothes, put on, you know, a hospital gown, and then Richie arrived and then they were able to start kind of just asking me questions about what happened. And I explained to them like I was on my back for a while, like this has happened before where I've gotten nauseous, but not to the point where I fainted. This time it was just like I felt so awful I had fainted. So they put like those 2 straps on my belly to monitor the baby to make sure that she was good. And also she was moving so much. Like after that entire situation, she was like, I'm here everybody, I'm okay. Like she was just kicking and moving and like I knew she was good in there. I knew she was all right. So they checked on her. They said, your baby's fine. Everything is fine. They did a few tests on me. One was like to check my heart and then like a neurological test to make sure that everything was okay up here. Okay, we just got my EKG test done, which means that I don't have any heart issues going on. That's good. We just checked that the baby's doing well and we've been monitoring her here. So she's doing good. You can hear her heartbeat going on the scanner. We're gonna do a few more tests and some blood work, but we think everything's gonna be fine. It was just such a random scary situation. So we were at the hospital for a few hours at that point, just because it takes a while to like get all the testing done and everything like that. And I was still kind of out of it. So I had like taken a nap and I was just trying to rest. I just really wanted to sleep. Actually, I was like super tired after the whole situation. Once we were done with all of the testing, they said, okay, you look good, baby girl looks good. We're gonna be able to discharge you today. So we really just think that because you were on your back for so long and you weren't propped up at all, that's what caused all of this. So make sure like when you go into your ultrasounds, you're always propped up. And if you start to feel sick or whatever, change positions, but change positions slowly. Like they had talked about how I basically went from laying down to sitting up so fast and standing when I got up to walk around, so maybe that had to do with it. They did end up prescribing me some iron as well. That was basically the whole story. Ultimately, I'm really glad that there's no like long-term effects, obviously, from everything that happened. And I really do think it was just because of, I don't know why I'm so prone to getting sick so fast. Like, I mean, if I'm on my back for too long, it's just so uncomfortable. So I did end up going back in today because they didn't finish the anatomy scan. The tech got through like 80% of it, and then she couldn't finish it because of everything that happened. So then she called me this morning and was like, hey, we need you to come back in so we can finish this. And I was like so anxious to go back in. I was like, I just don't want to get sick again. I hope everything's gonna be fine. But like I said, she did most of it, so it was actually really fast since she just completed the rest of it. And then I was able to finally get some ultrasound pictures. So I did get some photos of baby girl, which made me really happy and just finally feel like I got something out of this situation, because I've been truly like longing to see her again. And actually I was looking at her nose and I feel like she has Richie's nose, which I also called this with Jace. I was like, Jace has my nose. I could tell from the ultrasound with Jace right away that he was gonna have my nose, and he did. So now I think she has Richie's nose, but we'll see. I'm glad I have the photos. I'm glad that she's healthy and I'm okay and everyone's okay. It was honestly just such a strange weekend and a very strange birthday. And it was kind of funny because everyone that I was seeing that day at the hospital, like, you know how they always ask you, like when they have to input your information into a computer or write it on a chart or whatever, like, what's your name and what's your birthday? So everybody was asking me that, and I'd be like, oh, Nicole Green, June 25th, 1990. And of course they like double take and then look at me and be like, oh, happy birthday. Because I'm like spending my birthday in a hospital. But you know what? It's fine. Like, anyways, that's the story. I do want to say thank you so much to the many of you, especially on Instagram, because that's where I was communicating with people live, that were praying for us and that were just sending us well wishes and that were being so kind and reaching out. It really did feel so good to just have like a community of people who, I don't even know you personally, but you guys do care about me, and I feel that and I appreciate it so much. But that's pretty much it. As always, if you want to follow my daily life, make sure to head over on Instagram at NICOLEG to see my daily updates and always keep up with what's going on. I love you guys very much, appreciate every single one of you, and I will see you in my next video.